Come and take it if you want it. Come and take it if you think you can. Come and take it, but I warn you, you'll have to pry it from a cold dead.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Southern Republic back at you. Alright, here it is. I have taken the last 2 months to put this video together. I have done a lot of research. I have defined and redefined my bug out bag system because I have watched tons of videos on this. I have read a bunch of books about bug out bags. My Kindle is loaded with bug out bag books and how to build them, all this other good stuff. Building your bug out bag, building your medical kits, what to carry, what not to carry. I've watched video after video. I've spent hours on YouTube to put together a system I think really defines what a good bug out bag is. And I put this series together specifically to kind of guide you through my evolution of a bug out bag to hopefully save you the time and energy that I've put into getting this down and getting my bug out bag where I think, honestly, if shit hit the fan and I had to bug out, which I really would be my last option, because there'd be a lot of things I'd have to leave behind that I would be really sore missing. But if I really had to bug out, I think this bag really would enable my survival in the short term to get myself somewhere out of harm's way where I can get myself reestablished and hopefully get back at some point to get the rest of my preps and my gear. So let's kind of get going. The first real thing I want to talk about here is I want to kind of break this down, and I got my handy notes here. I have typed all this stuff out. This will be available piece by piece as we go. So each video I've outlined on here will go through what's coming up in the order that I'm going to give them to you. And I think there's a reason, that I'm putting them in this order, because some of the first few things are things you can put together and build kits, mini kits that go in your bug out bag for not a lot of money. So kind of the most inexpensive things building up to the most expensive things that you're going to probably have in your bag. This way, as you go, you can build this, and you can build complete little mini kits to encompass your whole bug out bag system. So this video obviously is the introduction, and we're going to talk about choosing the proper bag for you, not for anybody else. For you, I'm going to go over a lot of options that bags have so that you can kind of make a decision of what type of bag you're going to want, because I'm going to show you here I have lots of bags. I spend way too much money on friggin' bags. And any of these bags that I'm going to show you here in a little bit, if you want one of them, because I'm probably never going to use these bags ever again, if you like one and you want it, private message me and we can work something out. I'll sell them pretty cheap, don't worry. So this first video again is choosing your bug out bag and the concept of redundancy. So that's going to be video 1. That's what you're watching right now. The next video is probably going to be medical kits, followed by fire starting kits, communication kit, your personal hygiene kit, food, water, and shelter gear. Let me turn the page here. Your mini toolkit and small miscellaneous item kit. And then the last part is going to be clothes and weapons. So I think that order is kind of the evolution that I've come up with. So that's kind of how we're going to work. I may change that up, but you'll see. So again, thanks for watching this. I'm really excited to do this series. So kind of let's get into choosing the right bag from you. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you just saw the review I put out on the Kelty Red Wing 50. Now that is the bag I've chosen as my core bag for my bug out system. And I've got it right here. And you're like, oh, well, that's really flat. Yeah, because it's empty right now. Because I've put everything together so I can make these videos. I have everything out of the bag right now, which I don't like doing. And I'm going to try to do a couple of these videos at a time so I can keep everything together and not have it all strewn out. God forbid I need this. And I'm like, oh no, everything's laying around on the floor in my office. Crap. So again, this is that Kelty Red Wing 50. This is kind of like my ideal bag. It's got a top compartment, a giant main compartment. Like I said, it folds down. It's got the two side compartments, and then this front compartment right here, which is, you know, pretty much most of the length of this bag. It has it's not an internal frame, but it has an external frame built into it for rigidity. It's got really nice, thick straps for your shoulders to keep fatigue off your shoulders. And it's got a really nice waist belt system to help alleviate some of the weight off of your upper back and neck and hold it around your waist where you've got more core strength, or if you're a big guy like me, more padding to hold the weight. See, there's a reason we got those pony kegs. But again, I'm working on losing that. Got to get back in shape. God forbid anything happens. I need to be, you know, peak physical condition again. So again, this is kind of like where I'm starting, and again, this is my choice in a bug out bag. We'll talk about color and size and all that stuff in a little bit. So let me get this out of here. So let's talk first about military bags versus civilian bags or non-military bags. So when I say military bags, I'm talking, you know, stuff like this. Marine Marpat. Love this color. Cool bag. But, you know, again, military looking. Versus something like this, which is a Vans Off the Wall skateboard bag. It's got these nifty little doodads right here where you can put your skateboard in the front of your bag. Or, if you don't like those two options, we've got the little Condor mini assault bag. Or this really big tactical doodad assault bag with all the molly-webbing you could ever want on the sides and front. Or something as more common as a laptop bag. This is what I used going to school at ASU for 4 years. You know, this is a really great bag. Had a nice compartment for my laptop. Kept it in there with a little retainer. Had a bunch of, you know, space to put all my crap in. I rode a motorcycle all through college, so, you know, it matched the color on my bike. I had a red, black, and silver Gixxer 1000. So this is red, black, and silver. You know, I had a helmet that matched, and I was all color coordinated, you know. But so that's another non-military style bag. So the reason I bring up military style versus non-military style bag is I really will push the concept of not looking military. And it's really funny because a lot of the guys I know, a lot of my friends who are all ex-military, they are very anti-looking military. As opposed to dudes that I meet that are not in the, or never been in the military, who are like all about the, oh yeah, I wear camo and all my gear's camo, and, you know, I've got a military bag with 8 frickin', you know, mini molly attachment things hanging all off it and crap. And I'm like, okay, because honestly, if shit hit the fan and we have to bug out, the dudes that are all decked out are gonna be the first people that get targeted. Not specifically by people who are gonna rob them for their gear, but by military or paramilitary groups, because you're going to look like a combatant. You're going to look like a guy who could be from a rival military faction, and they're going to take you out because they may consider you a scout or part of a scouting party, and you're going to stand out like a sore thumb. Because it's hilarious that the guys who have never been in the military and who like to look military-esque, they are the worst people at sticking out like a sore thumb, is I think the best way I could explain it. It's just, it's so over the top. You know, you look at, you know, Navy SEALs, and you look at special operators, and you look at, you know, military units, paramilitary units. You know, yeah, alright, regular Army, regular Marines, regular Navy, maybe not Navy, but like the normal Army, and the regular Marines, just, you know, the basic grunt Marines, not recon or anything like that, they all look military. They have all the same uniform, all the same gear, decked out exactly the same. Well, there's a reason, because you know what you look like, and you know what everyone who's with you looks like. So if shit hits the fan and we go without rule of law and our society breaks down, you're going to have people that are going to band together and they're going to get that military look. And anyone who looks military that doesn't look just like them or geared exactly the way they are, they're immediately going to be considered a threat. Whether or not you pose a threat or not, you may just like the look and you think that's the best way to carry your gear, but you're going to stick out and you're immediately going to be targeted by groups who would look to rob you for your gear, your equipment, or just to kill you because they don't like you. So the whole military versus non-military look, I really, my personal decision is I want to look as non-military and as non-threatening as possible. It's that whole sleeper thing. When you build a badass race car and it's all decked out and looks like those stupid cars from the Fast and the Furious. Well, that's cool. But then you get some dude that rolls up in a crappy, Kia or a crappy Hyundai or something, and it looks like crap, but he's got 20 grand in his motor, and he smokes you on that quarter mile, illegal drag racing circuit. It's that whole don't look like you are going to be a problem for anyone, but then be the guy that if anything happens, you are going to take care of business. And that's the way I look at it, being military versus non-military looking. So that's why I chose to go with something this is a hiking bag. It's very obvious, it's a hiker bag. Anyone that knows anything about bags or been hiking, or any guys that are military or paramilitary or dudes that want to look that way, they know what a hiking bag looks like. It's pretty obvious. And military stuff generally isn't black most of the time. It's tan and ACU and Marpad and, whatever that weird navy blue ACU thing they got going on. So when they fall off the boat, they blend in with the water. Whatever. So again, military versus non-military. My point is, look as non-military and non-threatening as possible, but be the dude that's going to take care of business when push comes to shove. That's my point. That's why I would advise anyone who's thinking about putting a bug out bag together or has a bug out bag, and you have a military-esque bag, maybe reconsider a different kind of bag. That's my opinion. Take it for what you want. I'm just putting out my advice because I think I've gained an amount of knowledge that maybe someone who's struggling to get it together, I could help you. Or maybe, you know someone who this video could help. Pass it on to them. So moving on from military versus non-military look, tactical douchebaggery. This is kind of an extension of the military-looking guy, the tactical douche. And you see these guys at the range. The range ninja, the dude that is decked out, looks like an idiot, can't shoot, has like 8 million things hanging off his gun. If I go and pull any of my rifles, out of the safe, they are like the most boring looking rifles on the planet. It's just basic. I don't have crap hanging off of it. I've got sights, backup iron sights, flip up normally because I don't like the front sight post really, and Screw did not like it. And a good optic, and that's pretty much it. I don't put lights on my guns. I don't put lasers on my guns. The only thing off the forward rail is a vertical grip, because I like that. I'm not into the whole mag pull thing where you're holding it way out here. I like having that vert grip right up in here where I can keep everything nice and close if I have to move and fire my weapon. So don't be a tactical douche. Just try not to. It's really annoying to the rest of the world. Alright, so let's talk about bag sizes. Alright, now I had this whole evolution starting with this really little Condor bag. It's really cool. This would make a great level 2 advanced trauma bag for a big medical kit. This would be a great bag for something like that. And a lot of the big medical kits you see being sold at the gun shows or on websites that sell med kits, a lot of them have a bag just this size for all the stuff that you're going to get in it. But this is just too tiny for a 72-hour bag. There's no way you're going to get everything you really need to survive for 72 hours in a bag that's this small. Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, something like this, the Red Wing 50. This is 3,100 cubic inches, and there are bags that are much bigger than this. But I think this is a middle-of-the-road, appropriate-sized bag for a bug-out bag build. The reason I think that, anywhere from about 2,700 to about 3,500 cubic inches is honestly the ideal range. 2,700 is a little bit small. 3,500, you're going to probably start putting shit in there that you really didn't need, but you have the space, so you're going to add it and add weight. But, right around 3,000 cubic inches, which this is 3,100 cubic inches, is really kind of the range I think a good bug-out bag should be in. So consider that when you're choosing your bag. Now, so if you look at something like this, this is about 221 to 2,200 cubic inches in something like this. This is a really cheap bag. I got this thing for like 35 bucks. I don't even remember where. Has the waist strap, has really flimsy shoulder straps. You're going to feel all that weight on your shoulder and neck and upper back. As opposed to something like this. This actually is specifically a day pack. This is when you go to like surplus stores, you will find this bag, this exact bag, most military surplus stores. It's a single day pack. So really kind of too small, but it has a lot of the elements of a good bag. It has the nice, big, wide shoulder straps. It's got some decent padding. It's got the waistband. I happen to have this one off because I used this for a range bag when we went out to the desert and I needed to cram a bunch of more crap into a bag that wouldn't fit in my normal range bag, so I just took that off because it was going to be in a car. It's a little bit small. This is about 2,000, 1,800 cubic inch size bag. A great backpack, but not necessarily a great bug-out backpack. So, go with that. So again, for size, right around that 3,000 cubic inches is kind of my ideal size. It's just kind of a data point to find a bag that you like and kind of have an idea of what kind of size you may want to have. Let's talk about bag weight. And this is a big thing because your bug-out bag is going to get heavy, dudes. Now, like I said, this is why I've taken the last 2 to 3 months to really redefine my system, because I wanted to be very weight conscious, because the last thing I want to do, is to bug out and have a bag that's going to kill me. And I'm telling you right now, if you're not used to humping gear, and you've never had to do that, and you're fat and out of shape like I am right now, you are not going to do well after like the first hour or two humping a 40-pound bag on your back. I'm telling you, you are going to be dead, laying on the side of the road, gasping, out of breath. You're going to expend all your water. You're going to expend most of your food just trying to survive the first couple hours with that thing on. So this is why I've redefined my system, and right now, the system you're going to see over the next couple of videos, including the bag, weighs in at 22, got it right here somewhere, hold on a sec. Where is it? 22.4 pounds. My entire kit weighs in at, including the bag. Everything that goes in the bag weighs 22.4 pounds, including the bag. As you can see, this is all of it. From medical kits, to all the mini kits that I've designed in there, to my food, water, shelter, clothing, and weapons, the miscellaneous large items that aren't in a mini kit, and including my weapons, partially my knives, my gun, that's going to be on me, not necessarily in the bag to cut weight, to keep the bag as light as possible. My reference point was I wanted to be as close to 20 pounds as possible. Now, if you do the math on my gear, my bag, my Red Wing 50, weighs in at 3.5 pounds. This is a 3.5 pound pack. Simply for the sheer volume with all the reinforcing, the back paneling here to wick air away from your, get that airflow. This piece of aluminum in here for the rigid the rigid lining of the bag, to the plastic insert that gives the back of it more rigidity that's inside a little inner flap that I showed you in the previous video. It's a 3.5 pound bag, so do the math. 22.5 pounds minus 3.5 pounds, that takes us to 19 pounds. So I have 19 pounds of gear in my bag. With a 3.5 pound bag, I have 19 pounds of gear and a 3.5 pound pack. So the weight of your pack is super important. There are a lot of really nice packs out there that I really liked that are bigger than what I chose. But when you get to those external frame packs, those big internal box frame packs that you're going to use to go like 3-day camping when you're camping really in there, and the packs are like freaking 5 feet tall, and you strap that thing on and the pack comes way up here where it finally ends. Those packs are heavy. You're looking at 6, 7, 8 pounds for the bag, plus your gear. So if you took my 19 pounds of gear and did a 7 pound bag, you would be at 26 pounds or more if it's a heavier pack with the heavy weight of your bag. So keep the weight of your bag in mind when you're choosing the bag that you're going to use as your bug out bag. You may think, oh, I want to get a big bag. But if you're getting a big bag that weighs 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds, well, you're going to put another 20 plus pounds of gear in there probably. So right there, you're almost at 10 pounds or more, over 5 pounds with just the pack. So really, really think about this. Do your homework. Watch YouTube videos on different packs. Go to your camping store. If you want a tactical bag, go check out the military surplus store, your Army Navy stores, your online retailers that you happen to like. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you which ones to go to. Whatever ones you find and you like, if you find a good deal, then that's where you should go. But think very hard and very long about what bag and how much that bag is going to weigh before you make that purchase. Now, I chose to go to REI because the REI has a policy where if you buy a bag, you have 30 days to try the bag and bring it back if you don't like it. No questions asked. You can get a full refund, not just store credit. You can get a full refund if you don't like it and decide to go buy something elsewhere. I did that. I went through 4 bags. I started with North Face Recon bag, and that was just really a glorified version of this computer bag for $100. I got that thing for like $35 at Fry's Electronics. It's the electronics store here in Arizona. It was stupid. It's too tiny and it's too much. Now, of course, granted, if you go look the Kelty Red Wing 50 up, you're going to get it from anywhere from about 85 to 120. Now, I happen to like brick and mortar stores, and I really like REI. They have a lot of good deals, so I opted to go get it from their store, and I probably paid about $15, $20 more than if I had gone and gotten it online. So, but that's my choice. Also keep in mind how much you're willing to pay for a bag, because a quality bag is not cheap. Now, stuff like this, these are $30. You can get these for $30 at gun shows. That's where I got this. But it's kind of cheap. Yeah, it's got double stitching, but it's got, decent material. But again, you want to really bet your life on a $30 bag that they made in China as cheap as they could? Condor's got a good reputation, but are you willing to bet your life that they didn't cut corners at that factory in China? I'm not. That's why I went with what I went. It's made here in the U.S. Kelty bags are made in America, and I really put a lot of stock in made in America. So let's move on. The next thing I want to bring up is waist strap versus non-waist strap bags. So let's look at this guy right here. My Vans Off the Wall backpack. No waist strap. Little military bag. got a waist strap. Regular backpack, no waist strap. Kelty Red Wing, waist strap. So why a waist strap, you ask? All right, well, let's talk about this. A waist strap does two things. One, it helps alleviate the weight off of your neck and shoulders and put some of the weight on your hips. So at the bottom of your bag is going to be where most of your weight's going to reside because gravity's going to pull all that down. So if you can pull the bag up onto your waist with a waist strap and cinch it tight like an extra belt, you can bring some of that weight up again, and this way it's not all pulling on your shoulders and your neck and straining your back because the more fatigue you get in your upper back, the more tired you're going to get and the less mobility you're going to have in the long run. So I personally believe a good waist strap, a good pack with a waist strap is really important. Now, let's move on to internal frame versus external frame versus no frame. For the size bag we're talking about, a 3,000 cubic inch bag or larger, you want a bag that has some kind of internal framing. Now, some bags have a small tubular frame built into the bag where you don't see it. The Red Wing that I happen to go with has, like I said, this piece of aluminum right here that runs, and it is molded. It's got a curve to it. It's got the same curvature of your spine to kind of ride your back properly to give you a little more help when you're carrying the pack. So the frame, along with the waist padding and strapping, will help keep the bag on your back the way it was designed to be worn, to eliminate as much fatigue from the weight as possible. So all things to kind of keep in mind when you're choosing the pack that's going to be right for you. Next thing is zippers. Now there are a lot of bags that are probably great bags, but they have like the cheapest zippers in the world. Now we all know mostly YKK zippers are kind of like the industry standard. The Kelty Red Wing does not have YKK zippers. They don't. They have their own brand. I forget what it is. I've looked it up once. But I looked at it and I zipped the crap out of it and kind of got a feel for it, and I think the zippers are good. And I think the material that they make the zipper out of, and how it's sewed into the bag was quality construction where I don't think it will fail on me under stress, under heavy usage, or under long hiking with weight. So look at the pack you're getting. Look at the stitching that's holding that zipper into your bag. Because remember, if you look at a zipper, it's nothing more than two pieces sewed in there that zip together with that little zipper. So it's more than just the little piece you're zipping. Look at the stitching and how it's stitched into the pack and what kind of stitching. We can use Maxpedition, for example. They have that really nice double, triple stitching that they do along all their zippers and along all their seams, and how they reinforce the connection points with that nice Xbox zipper stitching they do. It just shows the quality control and the mindset that went into creating a pack that's going to last and not fall apart on you under heavy use. So you really want to take that into consideration. Now, all these things that I'm talking about, I have taken into consideration and went through a step-by-step process when I chose my Kelty Red Wing 50 as my primary bug-out bag. So it's all kind of just moves into it. Let's see, where are we at here? Compartments. Bag compartments. Now, obviously, if we just use our kind of standard school backpack, most of us are used to main compartment, front compartment. A lot of bags really are nothing more than two compartments. So if we look at this bag, we have main compartment, front compartment, little, meander zipper thing right here in the front. So, but again, that's where we get the tactical douchebaggery and the dudes that have 50 freaking Molly gear attachments on the front of their bag. Guys, there's a reason to not have a lot of that. The more you use a bag and the more crap you load on it, the more you throw the weight of the bag off balance. Bags were designed, hopefully good bags, are designed to have the compartments set up in such a manner to distribute the weight of your bag around the construction or the frame of the bag in a hiking bag, the case of a hiking bag, that it's not going to pull the weight backwards. So you get a bag and you take this bag right here, where we got our Molly, and you start adding 5 pounds of crap right here. What you've done is you've pulled the bag like this. And this is pulling you backwards, putting you off balance, putting stress on your joints where there shouldn't be stress on your joints, all going to lead to early fatigue. So think about that when you start adding stuff to the outside of your bag. Now, compartments are important because, you know, we have a lot of gear and we need to compartmentalize it so that we can access certain things quickly, and the stuff that we're not going to need to access quickly, we can kind of get towards the bottom in the center piece. Again, if you look at my Red Wing, I have the main compartment, I have the front compartment, the 2 sides, and this top compartment. So in the top compartment ride my mechanics gloves and my communications kit. We'll go into what's in all that in the later video, but that's what sits in the top. On the left side, this side, left side's this side if I'd be wearing it. On the left side, I have my medical kit. I always carried a medical kit on the left when I had any of my gear or my loadouts and stuff like that, always on the left, where I liked it, where my unit kind of wore everything, had it. So, kept that. My medical kit rides right here, quick access. On the right side, if I'm wearing this would be on the right, I have my my boonie hat, schmog, and one of my smaller fixed blades ride in this pocket, giving me easy access to things that I might need. And I also have my suntan lotion in this pocket too. So things that are going to protect me while I'm exposed to the elements. A knife if I need an extra blade to do some quick bushcrafting with. In the front pocket here, this zip down, you can see I got, it's got like backpack style, it's got a bunch of little mini pouches in here. I carry my map, flashlights, ponchos, a couple of pens. I have a couple, granola bars in here. They're just it's easy to get to stuff like that. I don't put a lot of stuff in this front pocket because I don't want to pull the weight forward. So I just keep just a few things that I'm going to need on a regular basis right here. Most of these don't even get used because I don't have a lot of little stuff. All the little things I have are in small zipper pouches that are all, specific to a certain task that I would need to be able to do, and I can access those quickly from the main compartment. So then obviously in the main compartment, that's going to be where the bulk of your gear will go. So having some compartments on the bag is a good thing. And if you take this bag, for example, you have this upper pouch, which is small. You have this big front pouch, and then you have the main compartment. Now this one you have 2 small pouches on either side. So this has a lot of mini compartments to kind of itemize. And this is actually the first bug out bag I ever really bought with the concept of building a bug out bag. And this is what led to my evolution of compartmentalizing my gear into mini kits. So like in one pocket I had my little fire kit, and then I had my little comm kit, and then I had my little tool kit right here, and then I had a little food kit, a little quick access food kit right here. And my med kit was this whole front pocket, a nice big medical kit, which I've streamlined since then to save space. So that this actually, having this bag and buying this bag and looking like a tactical Gomer, actually helped develop my EDC, my bug out bag into a compartmentalized system, which I think will help you to keep your gear organized and make your gear more readily accessible than just having a big bag with a bunch of stuff shoved in the center that you have to take the whole thing apart to find anything. So that's kind of where the compartment concept and the mini kit concept that we'll go through came about. So the last thing when choosing a bag also is price. And this actually is kind of the most important thing because I know a lot of you like me, I'm not rich by any means. I work like a dog to get the money I have to, you know, pay for my lifestyle and to, I had to cut back when the economy went bad just like a lot of you did. You know, hard to get ammo. Thankfully, years ago I got into reloading and thankfully my dad has done well for himself and has been able to help me with some things. And I have family support behind me. And there are a lot of people that don't have family support or don't happen to have a parent who has had, a modicum of success where if you want to kind of do a venture and they're into it too, like shooting, which is the reloading, obviously. My dad and I love to shoot. So when I came up with the concept of, well, let's reload, he was like, okay, but I want the best stuff. I don't want like a single stage. I want the multi-stage. I want one of the best ones that we can get. I want to get the best gear because I want to make sure we're not getting garbage. Because I don't, he's all about the concept of cry now, not later. Cry now, buy once, cry once. Kind of a concept where, yeah, we're probably going to dump more money into it up front than a lot of people did when they started reloading, but we got all the gear we needed, and we have quality gear that's going to last us for the next 40, 50 years of shooting, and we're not going to have to rebuy pieces because we bought cheap junk that broke on us. We bought the quality gear that we're going to buy once, and we cried once when we looked at the bill, when we bought it all. So price is really important. And if you have to save up for a couple of weeks or a month or two to get the bag you want, like I said, the Red Wing runs from, the Kelty Red Wing 50 runs anywhere from about $85 to $130, depending on where you get it. I paid about a $120 because I bought it in a brick and mortar store because I really have tired of buying crap online. I hate it. I hate leaving shit out front. I don't live in the best area. I've had stuff stolen, having it shipped to my house and getting home at work at 6 o'clock at night. So I don't like doing it. So I have to pay a little more to go to a brick and mortar store. Well, I'm going to do that sometimes, especially stuff that I care about and I want not to get stolen. So again, your mileage may vary for that concept. But if you need to save up to get a good bag, then do that. I'd rather, save my money and have to wait a while to get something and get what I really want than have you do what I've done and, $40, $40, $50, $30. The other one was $35. I mean, I spent $200+ on freaking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bags that I am never gonna use ever again, or maybe once in a blue moon, like I used that one bag for a range bag when we went out to the desert. But I blew $200 and something on bags that I'm never going to use because I was impatient. And then when I found the bag that I really fell in love with, I had to wait a couple of weeks and pull money out of a couple different checks to go spend $130 on a bag. So really consider that and consider the concept of cry now, buy once. Okay? Alright, let's move into the second part of this first video, which I touched on at the beginning, is the concept of redundancy. Now, I know there are a bunch of other guys online who do gear reviews and knife reviews, and they have harped on this, several times. But it's really important. And no, this cup is not pink. It's actually red. It just comes across pink on video. I don't know why. But it's a big cup, and I like it. Talking for a while, man. Throat's starting to get dry. So the concept of redundancy. So what is redundancy? Redundancy, realistically, when it comes to the prepping concept, redundancy is having a backup for your primary or having a backup to your backup to your backup. There's a concept in the military, 2 is 1, 1 is none. If you've never heard that concept, I'll kind of give you a brief explanation. If you have one flashlight, and that's the only flashlight you have, it will break, and then you will have no flashlight. So 1 is none, because it's going to break. You're going to be using it, something's going to happen, your pack might get dropped, you may drop it, it will break, and then you're screwed, because you only had 1. So 2 is 1, because if you have 2 flashlights, you're still probably going to break the 1 flashlight. But when that flashlight breaks, you have the backup. And you still have a light that you can continue using. So when it comes to really, really important gear, and you'll see this moving forward in the mini kits that we're going to get into, I like to have, at minimum, 2 of very important things. So I have 2 maps. I have 3 flashlights. I have 2 headlamps. I have 12 AAA batteries. I have 12 AA batteries. I have 8 CR123 batteries. I have backups. I have redundancy in my kit. You know, I don't just have 1 Israeli bandage. I have 2 Israeli bandages. Because if I use the first one on you, and then I get hurt, I don't have one for me. So if I have to use something for you, or if I come across someone, you know, if I'm bugging out and I find you and your gear has fallen apart and you got robbed or, you know, whatnot, and you have nothing left, and I, you know, take sympathy on you and I say, all right, come on, man, I got some extra stuff here. Here's a light. Here's an extra hat. You know, here's my extra shirt. You know, here, put a shirt on. They took your shirt, you know. Here, put this on. You know, put this on. Here's some suntan lotion. Come on, here's a fire starting steel. Come on, let's go. Let's get out of here. You know, and I can, so, you know, not only is it backing up me, but it could be backing up the people you're with. So if you are married and it hits the fan and you guys got to bug out, well, maybe your wife decided, oh, well, I don't need this, but I want this. And she took something out of her bag that was important and replaced it with a creature comfort item. And then your, you know, flashlight breaks and you go, honey, give me your flashlight. My light broke. And she goes, oh, I took that out because I wanted my curling iron. And then you sit there going, looking at her going, I will kill you. But this is the thing. Don't rely on anyone else. You need to rely on yourself. So the concept of redundancy is be self-reliant, have more than one thing of whatever you deem is important. So if you have 1 box of Stormproof matches, have 2. They're small. They're not big. You can put a bunch of them in a little baggie. You don't even need the little box. You know, so have redundancy in your gear. Have redundancy in your kits. So as we get into the kits, you're going to see I have redundancy. The first thing you'll see is in the next video is going to be my medical kits. I have 2. I have a mini medical kit and I have a main medical kit. The mini medical kit is something, if, you know, little things happen, I can pull it out and get into that and use the little things out of that, you know, but I still have my main med kit where I don't have to break into that unless it's like a real trauma or there's multiple people injured and I need a lot of gear. I can pull out my mini med kit and I can just, you know, take care of just little simple things, you know, little cuts and bruises, scrapes, you know, things like that. You know, you cut your finger when you're working with your thing. All right, I got a little suture kit in there, and I got a little medical tape. I can, you know, fix you up real quick. So, with that said, we've talked about choosing your bag, and we've talked about the concept of redundancy. So, I don't want to overwhelm you all in one point. That's why I'm breaking this up into a series of videos. So, we're gonna stop here for now. I want to thank you for watching this, guys. If you are already one of my subscribers, I really, really thank you for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'm going to have a whole bunch of videos in this series, a lot of stuff about prepping. If you like knife reviews, gun reviews, I have lots of those. You can go back and watch my past videos. I've tried very much to stay out of the political stuff other than posting some Ted Nugent videos, which they're awesome, and Uncle Ted Rocks. You know, I've tried to stay out of the gun ban and all the other good things because I've been writing my senators. I know a lot of people have. You know, I didn't want to go too political with my channel. I really wanted to keep my channel as gear and stuff because a lot of the big name gear guys have been doing all that, and there's no reason I need to do it because a lot of people who probably are watching my channel are subscribed to those guys anyways, so it didn't need to be done here. So, thank you again. As always, Semper Fi. Have a good night.
So you best not cross that line. If you want this gun, you gotta come through us and take it 1 shot at a time.